Talaga nakakalungkot talaga dahil you can just imagine na Biyernes Santo, eh, patuloy pa rin yung isabong. Ano bang hindi na nirespeto yung ating faith ng yung ating Catholic Church ay parang hindi na nirespeto yung ating belief.
Yesterday was Easter Sunday. 2 days before was Good Friday. And it's been part of the Filipino culture to recognize our faith-based practices, noticeably on Good Friday. Good Friday, all the malls were closed. Since I was a small child, all the big establishments were closed, traditionally, and out of respect for our faith. I read a paper yesterday that there was an event that was supposed to take place but that did not push through because of unruly crowd. And referring to some the traditional Good Friday celebrations around Quiapo Church. Yesterday there was even the Good Friday even celebrated an event in Sampaloc and almost all areas in the Philippines, because we are deeply a faith-based Christian Catholic country, although we're still celebrating the Ramadan today. But Mr. Chairman, I noticed that even on a Good Friday, contrary to what PAGCOR has been saying that they have been regulating isabong, on that very Good Friday 2 days ago, there was isabong. And nakagulat naman po yun, that there should be at least a semblance of respect for our traditions. And I asked PAGCOR why this happened. If PAGCOR is listening, I took note of the fact that several PAGCOR casinos were closed out of respect for the Good Friday commemoration. Pero ang nagre-regulate, hinayaan yung nare-regulate na magbukas at mag-operate. There were isabong activities last Good Friday. Just for the record, Mr. President, it would probably take us several more hours or even weeks or months to really craft a legislation for the 19th Congress which would reflect not just the needs of the times, but even our deeply rooted character as a Christian nation. Yun po yung kulang. Yun po yung nawala dito, yung tradisyon. Ang naalala ko lang sa sabong, naalala ko lang sa manok, yung si St. Peter ba yun, na may hawak ng manok nung araw. Pero there was a gross violation of our faith. I don't know why it was done. Probably PAGCOR slept on its job. PAGCOR probably forgot that they're supposed to regulate as they claim that they're regulating. Just for the record, Mr. Chairman, I would want that as part of my manifestation and opening statement. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Tolentino. This representation also would like to associate with your sentiments that you just aired this morning. Talaga nakakalungkot talaga dahil you can just imagine Biyernes Santo, patuloy pa rin yung isabong. Ano bang hindi na nirespeto yung ating faith ng yung ating Catholic Church ay parang hindi na nirespeto yung ating belief. But anyway, Mr. Senator Tolentino, this committee would like to seek the feedback coming from PAGCOR why this happened. Alam mo, yung mga politiko, yung mga tumatakbo ngayon na nagkakadera pa na dahil kukunting panahon na lang bago mag-eleksyon, ay nirespeto itong ating yung ating Semana Santa. Binawal ang pagpangampanya, pero ang isabong walang bawal-bawal, tuloy. So ako po'y nalulungkot. Sana makarating ito sa atensyon ng PAGCOR bakit hinayaan nila ito. Thank you for that observation, Senator Tolentino. Before we begin our discussion, may I request the committee secretary, Mr. Lawrence Asierto, to administer the oath of all resource persons physically and virtually present into this hearing.
Thank you, sir. May we request those people who have not yet taken their oath to please stand, especially the people here and at that side. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Thank you. Please take seats.
Thank you, Comsec. For orderly conduct of this hearing, you would like to give the floor first to those we invited because their names were mentioned last hearing. But to start, may we call on the PNP-CIDG to give us some updates on their investigation. You have the floor,
Yes, sir.
General Eli Cruz.
To the Honorable Chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, sir. All distinguished senators physically and virtually present, to our GPNP, Police General Leonardo Carlos, sir. And friends from the media, all attendees for today's Senate hearing, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The CIDG manifests its full support to this Honorable Committee's endeavor on conducting this investigation on the missing persons involved in Isabong-related incidents in view of the recommending legislative measures that would address similar incidents. And we would like to inform this honorable body that out of the 8 sensational cases being investigated by the CIDG involving 34 missing persons engaged in Isabong, the CIDG investigators have already filed 2 separate cases against the suspects and several jandos involved in the incidents that happened in Manila Arena in Santa Ana, Manila, which is the case number 1, and Las Cos residence in San Pablo City, which is the case number 8. Just to refresh of what we have reported last Senate hearing on March 21, 2022, regarding the breakthrough on the investigation in connection with the case of Ricardo John Lasco, a master agent of Isabong who was kidnapped by more than 10 armed men inside his residence in San Pablo City, Laguna, on August 30, 2021, wherein the victims and witnesses positively identified policemen as suspects. These policemen were formerly assigned at the Provincial Intelligence Branch of Laguna Police Provincial Office based in Santa Cruz, Laguna. On April 11, 2022, the CIDG, together with the victims and complaining witnesses, filed criminal complaints for violation of kidnapping and serious illegal detention, punishable under Article 267, and robbery committed by a band, punishable under Article 293 in relation to Article 296 of the Revised Penal Code against the 5 identified policemen who are now assigned in Police Regional Office Calabarzon, Regional Personnel and Holding Admin Unit or RPHAU, and other jandos before the National Prosecution Service of the Department of Justice. In the issue of brothers Darwin and Alvin Indon, who were allegedly involved in game fixing It is claimed that they were falsely charged for violation of Republic Act 9165 and presently detained in Laguna Provincial Jail in Santa Cruz, Laguna, identified the same group of police officers involved. And these police officers are now under summary hearing proceedings before the Regional Internal Affairs Service 4A for their administrative case. In the other incidents of missing Sabongeros, the CIDG will continue to conduct investigation to gather more pieces of evidence as well as sworn statements of credible witnesses for eventual filing of appropriate charges against the suspects. To this honorable committee and to the rest of the Filipino people, rest assured that the CIDG and the Philippine National Police as a whole will continue to do our best efforts towards the resolution of these cases. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, General Eliseo Cruz, for that update. So, 2 out of 8 na tayo. Dalawa pa lang nakapile na kaso. May 6 pa na bubunuin mo pa yan. But anyway, I hope and I pray that kahit na mag-adjourn na itong hearing natin na ito, because this cannot go on forever. Otherwise, mag-isip sila na may iba tayong layunin dito. So, this might be the last hearing. Kahit na ma-adjourn na itong committee hearings na ito, itong investigation na ito, I hope that you will continue for the sake of justice of these people who are still missing as of the moment. So, ituloy ninyo yan. Huwag nyo hintuan. At sana mananagot pati yung mga malalaking tao na nasa likuran nito. Justice must be served. Huwag nating hinto ito. Thank you. Actually, this hearing will be focused on today's hearings will be focused on case number 7. Ito yung inabdak doon sa gas station ng Shell gas station sa May Kawayan, Bulacan. So, kumsek yung Manyo Brothers, nandito na? Okay, we'll start with Attorney Jonathan Galicia. You're the Chief Anti-Illegal Drug Task Force of NBI, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, kayo yung nasa kustodiyan ninyo yung dalawang Manyo Brothers, am I correct?
Mr. Chairman, they are in the custody of the NBI detention center.
Okay, pero kayo yung nag-file ng kaso sa kanila for drug charges, am I
Yes,
correct?
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, can you relate to this committee? Paano nyo na-discover itong Manyo Brothers in relation to this case?
Your Honor, they were arrested in an entrapment operation in Batangas.
Tapos,
Later on, they revealed some information about their involvement in some of the missing persons that were complained to Mr. Chairman.
so yun nga, according to yung wife nung missing person na si Ito, ang victims nito ay si Janver Francisco alias Lala, golden agent of pitmaster with estimated salary income of 280,000 a month. Tapos kasama niya yung kanyang driver na si Frank Itak Tabaranza, who is also missing. Nakita mo natin doon sa CCTV na silang dalawa ay inabduct doon sa Shell gas station sa May Kawayan, Bulacan. Gusto kong malaman, Atty. Galicia, ano na-connect itong dalawa dito sa kaso ng abduction ni John Ver Francisco and Frank Tabaranza. Can you give us a background there?
Mr. Chairman, we have not yet completed our investigation. We have not yet completed our investigation on this matter, Mr. Chairman.
During the previous hearing, sabi nung asawa na kayo daw ang nagbigay ng idea sa kanila about doon sa dalawang hinahanap niya, yung si Manyo Brothers. Wala, hindi ba kayo ang nagbigay sa kanya ng idea about the Manyo Brothers?
Mr. Chairman, the agent on case is here, no? But I haven't received any reports on this, official report on this matter, Mr. Chairman.
Atty. Galicia, hindi ka anong maklaro yung pwede mong tanggalin. Meron naman tayong harang sa sites.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have not, the agent on case has not yet submitted a report on this matter.
So, being the chief of the NBI Anti-Illegal Drug Task Force, you have no idea as of yet paano may connect itong mga tao na ito, yung dalawang Manyo Brothers na nakakulong? Wala idea?
No specific details as of now, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Hintayin na lang natin magdating yung dalawa. Andiyan na? Okay. So dito sa RDEU, ang pinaka-chief ninyo ngayon is Lieutenant Colonel Ryan J. Orapa. Am I correct?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Pwede mong may kwento sa amin paano ka napunta sa RDEO at saan ka nanggaling previous assignment before RDEO?
Honorable Chair, I'm currently terminated March 25, 2022 and reassigned currently at Regional Holding and Accounting Unit of NCRPO. But I take post November 22, 2020 as the Chief Regional Drug Enforcement Unit NCRPO, Honorable Chair. And prior to my assignment to RDEU, I was designated dated October 22, 2018 as the OIC and eventually the Acting Chief Intelligence Unit of Laguna Police Provincial Office up to November 17, 2020, Your Honorable Chair.
2018 to 2020, you're the Chief PIB ng Laguna PPO.
Yes, sir.
2018 to 2020. Then after that, nag-RDEO ka na ng CRPO.
Yes, sir.
May allegation yung asawa nung nawawala na si Janver Francisco na yung kumuha ng kanyang asawa at saka yung kanyang driver ay taga-RDEO ng NCRPO. Do you confirm this or you deny this allegation?
We totally deny such allegation, Honorable Chair.
Anyway, I can give my further questioning after andito na yung Manyo Brothers dahil sila yung nakukunik doon eh. Sila yung nagtuturo sa inyo according to the wife na kayo ang kumuha at kasama daw silang dalawa na kumuha nung dalawang missing. So hintayin natin yung dalawa. Oh, dito muna ako kay Colonel Leandro Gutierrez, Chief of Police of Mikawayan, Bulacan. Good morning. You are the Chief of Police until now.
Yes, sir. I am the current Chief of Police of Mikawayan City, sir. I was designated there, sir, last October 29, 2021, sir.
2021.
Yes, sir.
October 2021. So, hindi ikaw yung Chief of Police nung panahon nung abduction doon sa Shell Police Station?
Yes, sir.
Pero na-check mo doon sa records niyo na according to the wife, may mga coordination documents daw yung RD Regional Drug Enforcement Unit ng SRPO doon sa police station niyo na mag-conduct sila ng legitimate police anti-drug operations doon sa area mo sa Mikawayan. Do you have the documents?
Sir, upon checking the record, sir, I have secured a copy of coordination from NCRPO, RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section that they will operate in the area of Region 3, Proper A, AOR, from April 17 to April 20 of 2021, sir. Nakalagay din po dito yung mga sasakyan, Vios at dalawang motorcycle. Yun po yung nakalagay sa coordination na na-receive po namin, sir.
Ano nakalagay sa ang date? Anong date? April
17, 2021, sir.
hanggang?
April 20, 2021 po, sir.
So pasok itong incidente kasi the incident happened April 18, 2021.
Yes, sir. Meron pa po kaming isang copy, sir, ng coordination. Marami po kasi pumapasok.
Sino nag-coordinate sa'yo? Anong unit?
Yung po sa una kong binanggit, sir, is RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section.
RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section.
Yes, sir.
Regional Mobile Force.
Yes, sir. At meron pa po kaming isang coordination na na-secure, sir. Same date, April 17, RMFB Intelligence Section that will operate on NCR, Region 4A and Region 3. The date of duration of operation dun po sa coordination nila is dated April 17 to April 19, 2021. Meron naman pong nakalagay ditong 5 sasakyan, sir. Mitsubishi Adventure, isa, at 3 motor, at Honda ADV marked vehicle.
What's the nature of their operation?
Most wanted person, validation, monitoring, and possible police operation. Based on this coordination, sir.
So ang most wanted person, it did not state na anti-drug operation.
No, sir. Dito po sa hawak namin, hindi po.
At saka ibang unit yan. RMFB yan eh.
RMFB Intelligence Section, sir.
Kayo ba, RDEO, kapag kayo nagkakandak nag-coordinate sa police station, talagang RDEO ang nilalagay yung unit. Am I correct?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So hindi sila ang nag-coordinate. Iba yung unit yon.
Ibang unit po yung nakalagay dito sa coordination, sir.
Sinong RD ng SRPO during the time? Nagtataka ako, bakit ang Regional Mobile Force aabot dyan sa Bulacan, magkakandak ng most wanted person? Trabaho ba ng RMFB yan? Yung manghuhuli ng most wanted? Kung RTO siguro, maniniwala ako. Or RIDMD, yung Regional Investigation Detective Management, or RTO, yung Regional Intelligence, or RSOG, Regional Special Operations Group. Pero yung RMFB, Regional Mobile Force Battalion, alam ko, trabaho na ang counter-insurgency, involved ba sila sa panghuhuli ng kwan? Ng most wanted person? Chief PNP, in behalf of that Chief of the RDNCRPO, can you enlighten on this? Paano na-involve sa most wanted persons operations yung batalyon ng RMFB?
Sir, can I ask a question, sir, to the Meycauayan, Bulacan Chief of Police? Based on the paper, sir.
Oh, sige.
Do you have a name in that?
Derek mo na sa akin. Derek mo sa akin.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask who is the person that made the coordination
Yun.
with that particular operation?
Sino?
Ang team leader po nakalagay dito, sir, Police Captain Renz Figueroa.
Kindly check kung saan dito assign Chief PNP.
We'll contact, sir. That's precisely why I asked the name, so we can trace where did he get his authority to be able to operate or to make coordination outside his AOR,
Figueroa.
Figueroa. So, kukunin namin, sir, yun, sir.
Pwede ngayon dahil
Yes, sir.
we hope to adjourn this investigation today.
Yes, sir.
So malaman natin ngayon kung sino yung Figueroa yan at saan yan assign.
Yes, sir. We'll do that. In this particular case, sir, I can only look at it that if he got that Captain Figueroa got an authority coming from a higher officer, probably the RD, if he got it coordinate to make that coordination to go outside of the NCR AOR.
Yes, wala akong problema dyan. Policeman naman yan. Kahit RMFB yan, they can do everything that a policeman should do. Arrest suspects, go on conduct police operations. Lahat ng trabaho ng police pwede lang gampanan. Pero yung nga lang, nagtataka ako, para bang ibang unit nag-operate sa ibang mandate. Ibang unit, ibang mandate, ibang nag-operate. But pwede. It's possible at pwedeng gawin nila yan. I was once your Chief PNP, right? So alam ko yan, pwede mong i-deploy yung police dahil kahit na nga sa banda assign yung pare na yung police na yan o kaya chaplain service assign yung police na yan, pag sinabihan ka ng boss mo na arestuhin mo yan or kahit siya mismo pwede siya mag-aresto dahil police siya. He has sworn duty to serve and protect. Kailangan niyang, hindi man niya pwede sabihin may krimen nangyari. Ay, hindi ko yan hulihin. Police ako pero taga-banda man ako. Music ba lang ang alam ko? Hindi ko pwede hulihin yan. No, he can't say that. O hindi niya pwede sabihin na hindi ko pwedeng hulihin yung kriminal dahil taga-chaplain service ako. Ang trabaho ko dito is magkakandak lang ng mass doon sa simbahan. No, police ka. Pwede mong gampanan yan. Kaya please, klaruhin mo yan kung sino yan before we adjourn this hearing. Okay?
Mr. Chair, we'll do that right now, having the name and then where he got the authority to be able to make that coordination outside the NCR AOR, sir.
Thank you. And Comsec, kindly secure copy of this coordination document na hawak-hawak ng Chief of Police ng Meycauayan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So kayo, Colonel Urapa, hindi mo tao yun? Yung captain, tao mo ba yun o hindi?
No, sir.
Ano pangalan nun? Man? Colonel Gutierrez? Sino yung nag-coordinate? Ang pangalan?
Police Captain Renz Christopher Figueroa, sir.
Police Captain Renz Figueroa. Hindi mo ito tao?
No, sir.
Wala kang tao na ganyang pangalan?
Wala po, sir.
At hindi mo ito unit?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ano pa yung dalawang sinasabi mo? Dalawang coordination yan? Yung isa?
Sir, yung isa naman po is RMFB NCRPO Intelligence Section led by Police Major Roderick A. Pasilan.
Chief PNP. Meron pa isa. Roderick Pasilan. Ano yan?
Police Major Roderick A. Pasilan, sir.
Allocate
Mr. Chair,
mo yan.
yes, sir. We're now coordinating with the NCRPO, particularly the first person, and now we will be calling that second person that made the coordination with the May Kawayan PNP.
Okay, going back to Colonel Urapa, do you have a person by this name?
Negative, sir.
Wala kang inutusan na tao na ganito?
Wala, sir.
Thank you.